This one is for you today, folks. This is So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Thursday episode. We are doing a Vanderpump Rules Season 11, Episode 8 recap. Oh my God, we are back in hell, folks. It was just 7 short days ago when we were visiting hell again. We've visited hell now 8 times this season, including last night's episode, which was a just a warm up for the Valley. Jax Taylor, Brittany, Cartwright, and Janet, Elizabeth, Kristen, Doute, Luke, all the cast members that I have not remembered their name yet. I will be doing a recap of the first episode of the Valley on Friday's episode. So tune in for that, see how that goes. But I've got some thoughts on Jax, who makes a triumphant return. It's like when somebody that's ignorant talks to another person that's ignorant with like really big egos. That's called magic, folks. That's what that is. it's just like the biggest mess wins in these shows. We say it over and over again, but I have to remind myself because that's what it is. And it's just unfortunate because they're big messes. So you watch it and you enjoy it, but then you make them stars. Like I wish there was a way that they could be huge messes and we didn't make them rich. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was a way where Tom Sandoval didn't have a pool. that pool scene. Oh my God. It was like, truly, that pool scene was like, it was like watching the Titanic, you know?
Iceberg, right ahead!
Yeah. Iceberg, right ahead. There's a man hitting on very young girls in his pool, talking about Burning Man, right ahead. Oh, folks, how the heck are you doing before we get into this? Because we're going to need to get into this because it's insane. And the lead in, I love how they did the bridge scene with the Valley of Jax is like, peace out at Tom. And he's like, I would love to sit here and get shit-faced with you guys, but I got a lot of responsibilities. I got a family, a new bar, I've got stuff. And all the while, we're supposed to now believe that the marriage is completely fallen apart. They live in 2 separate domiciles. I mean, so I wish the Valley was like, actually, fuck it. My marriage is horrible. I'm going to stay and drink with the boys. It is wild. We've got the return of Joe. Pull my finger. I'm Joe. Listen, let's also get this straight. I have sometimes a tendency to feel bad because you knew Joe was going to come on the scene. And if you read any of her social media posts, you knew what you were about to be in store for. You knew what you were getting. But there is because that's what we want on reality shows. We want extreme characters like Joe. We want those people that are like, what the fuck am I watching? Oh my God, that is a lot of energy. We want that. So I almost wish that and I'm not going to do it today or next week or the week after. I almost wish we could put a kibosh on all Joe talk just so we don't scare her off, just so she keeps coming back, And how wild that she's madly in love with Schwartz, and her storyline is pretty much like, I told her we were friends. I still put my pickle in her, but I'm setting boundaries. Like that's her storyline, is her kind of seeming to be desperately in love with Schwartz. And I would almost feel worse if it wasn't really like her friendship with Schwartz it was gotten by ill gains. Like she like reached out to Katie, who was going through a divorce with this man, and was like, hey, love you, Katie. You're so strong. Anyways, I'm going to go move in with your ex now. Like there is just weirdness around that. And if you watch that Vanderpump Rules after show, and I feel like I'm doing propaganda for that Vanderpump Rules after show on Peacock because I always bring it up, but there's so much more information in it. Doute, if we get to it today, I'll talk about it. Doute talks about her relationship and how it, with Joe, and how good of friends that they were. They would see each other like 3 times a week. And the thing is, the thing that people keep forgetting too is that, it was a foursome. It was Schwartz, Joe, the artist formerly known as Raquel, Rachel Leviss, and Tom Sandoval. And they would always be out drinking. And Doute even confirmed, saying like, well, listen, I thought at that time that Schwartz was actually hooking up with Raquel, and that like Joe and Tom were the only people that would hang out with them, when in reality, Schwartz was doing the hippity dippity with Joe under the friend banner. And Tom was madly in love, dude. Oh man, look at these pictures of us when we were happy. I mean, there's so much. Oh God, there's just so much stuff we're going to get into, folks, because it is hysterical. And the seriousness in which Tom Sandoval presents this relationship that he was fully lying about to Ariana is really it's awe-inspiring. Like him crying in the closet. You got Anne, the assistant, once again. You've got a literal who's who, which DJ James Kennedy would say, literally, who the fuck are these people? The sexy singles pool party. You got those cast of misfits over there. We're just gonna have to dive in. Hope you're having a great day, folks. Let me tell you a couple of other things about the day that actually do involve Vanderpump Rules. Um, we're halfway through, and we're like knee deep in it. And I love when we get to these places, especially on this podcast, where I feel like we're solving some sort of mystery. And the only mystery is why a grown man is this fascinated with this show. That's like the real mystery. And I think the answer is just sadness. It's just sadness. But I'm going to push forward until the show gets canceled, which I don't see happening anytime soon. Everybody's like, this should be the last season. It's not going to be the last season. Stop it. It's not. Just get that out of your head. It's not. If you do like this show, rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you like it even more, go to patreon.com/so bad it's good for more episodes that have never hit these main feed airwaves. And I think that's it. Man, I got to do a live show soon. I feel it in my bones. Would you guys come if I did a live show, if we just tested the waters? Would you come? Okay. I mean, I can come to you, but it would be great if we could all just pick a place and go there. But I'm itching to do it, I think. Anyway, so I started off the day. I was on the Jeff Lewis live after show. It's called Jeff Lewis Extended over on Sirius XM, channel 102, Radio Andy. Hello, chumps. Any chumps listening? What up? And you know what I do really like doing it because I love radio. I geek out about all the microphones and the professional equipment. And you got John Mayer studio down there. And like, I fell in love with radio at a young age. So I like that. But I think what else it is I like is that I don't really do a lot. Like I've been trying to do small hikes and get more, active just in the last couple of days. But I don't really leave other than doing podcasting, and I'm totally okay with that. But I don't go out and I'm doing this, and it gives me a place to go every week. But I also kind of like being part of a group. Like it's really nice to go out there, and like today I got to host it with Carney Wilson. And I mean, what a legend Carney is. Like I grew up with Wilson Phillips. I mean, her dad is Brian Wilson, and she's such a sweet, amazing woman. And she was so tired today. I was DMing with her afterwards because she had family stuff yesterday and she'd been up. And, and she doesn't really know Vanderpump Rules. And the main guest today on Jeff's show was Lala Kent. And so I was having to explain Vanderpump Rules to Carney. And it is so funny. And then in the after show, Jeff came in and we started talking about Vanderpump Rules more. And I usually try to be somewhat chill on that show, but I exploded. I was like, here's what you got to know, man. This is what the deal is. Sandoval shouldn't be, but it's so fun to talk to people that are not like insane fans like myself and you guys, that just watch it casually. So it's great to hear their opinions. Also, Carney was talking about, I didn't realize she was really good friends with Kyle Richards. And I started saying like about Kyle. I was like, Kyle hides, man, that relationship. And I think she was on a private jet with Kyle Richards a while ago. And I was like, ooh, zoinks, sorry. Anyway, so Lala's there. And I've like Lala was on this podcast a couple of years ago when she was still with Randall, when she was like living at Randall's place. I remember it was after her book. And, but then I've had like little run-ins with Lala throughout the years. Like she did this, she was a talking head in this documentary that never came out. We never finished it. It was way back in the day. And she was just so, when you meet Lala in person or talk to her in person, she's so lovely, like, just very different than when she pops off on screen. And I had heard that rumor, and we talked about that rumor on here that I think it was on Bravo and Cocktails. Or Demois, but I think Bravo and Cocktails, saying that Ariana eviscerated Lala at the end of the reunion that taped this past Saturday, and that the friendship is over. Like, it was a friendship ender. And then Andy went on his the Radio Andy show with John Hill and said, listen, I host that thing. We were about to be done. And then at the very end, this thing popped off out of nowhere, and we had to stay there because it was the most intense thing ever. And so that supposedly or allegedly is Lala and Ariana. So also, I will, I compliment Lala on a lot of things. If you listen to this show, like if you take it out and bite-sized thing, but like I always say, amazing mom. I always say she's going to have a career long past Vanderpump Rules. I think she is made for TV in some form, but I vehemently disagree with how she treated Ariana last week with like, you can't do that, Ariana. And I was like, what are you talking about? How are there two rules for everybody? One for Lala, one for other people. Or, I mean, that's what that adds to the list of hypocritical behavior on this show, not just from Lala. But I got frustrated with that. And I've gotten frustrated with Lala so many times in regards to that. But I can say a lot of positive things. So like, and I also, there's been a couple of times where Lee and Lala have gone back and forth on Instagram, but I don't think she, I don't think she puts who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? But there always is that kind of thing in the back of my head. Like, you never know. Somebody could wake up from the bed the wrong way, hate a meme, hate something that I said. And it did happen before on Jeff's show because Stassi Schroeder was there about a month and a half ago, and I was on the after show. And usually the guests don't hang for the after show, which I'm one of the hosts of, and Stassi did. But like before Stassi came in, Jeff was like, "Hey, is there an issue with you and Stassi?" And I was like, "Oh shit," because I had made a meme a long time ago. When she got fired from Vanderpump Rules, and those things, they stay around, man. Like they stay around. I mean, she came in, she was awesome. It was really fun and funny. But it was one of those things of like, oh, that person is very wary of me. And I guess deservedly so. But I always want to be able to say what I think, what I want to joke about, and it does suck, like, because that's not you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. That's not the goal. But like, we're gonna say how we feel, right? And I think that is the thing too, is you have to try to play within a sandbox, and you want the show to get bigger, but you don't. I don't know. It's a very confusing thing, and also I'm a very sensitive person myself, so I realize when I pop off like Lala, I gotta, anyways. So Lala comes in and she's got a team of people. She's got a Bravo rep. She's got her publicist. And usually, like she's rolling deep. I was like, is this like Eminem coming through here? Like it was a team. They're all really nice, but I just thought, oh, she has a Bravo rep with her. And I found out she was doing a whole press day. She went and did like the talk with Jerry O'Connell over at CBS. So that was like right after the Jeff thing. But I think she had the Bravo rep there too, because they're only like they were. She's not allowed to talk about certain things like that reunion moment. So that wasn't, I don't think, able to be brought up. We talked about it on the extended after she left. So anyways, Jeff's like, "Oh, Lala, have you met Ryan?" And Lala's like, "I don't think so." And I'm like, perfect. And that's the other thing about me. And I'm not trying to be negative, but like, I'm not very memorable. Like, you might like this podcast on, but in person, I'm telling you, I will underwhelm every fucking time. And I think I used to like, and this has been going on my whole life. I was like, oh man, nobody really remembers me in person, but I think maybe that I can use it to my advantage. So I was like, "Hey, Lala, what's up?" And then the show, Jeff's show happened, and then there's like a quick switch over, and you talk to the guest, and Lala was like, "I do know you. I know." And I go, "Yeah, you were on my podcast a long time ago. You also did this documentary." She's like, "Oh my God, what's up?" And I was like, I didn't leave out, and I make a lot of memes, and you might, but I will say also, I fucking hate Randall Emmett, so team Lala there. But anyways, Lala was leaving. I go, either rushing her, I go, "Lala, wait, whoa. Hey, what's the deal? Was the reunion as intense as I'm hearing it was?" And she goes, "Yeah, the end was intense. It was really intense." And I was like, "Oh shit. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day." And I guess so that confirmed that. But then one of my favorite Instagram accounts, By Wig Hello Drama, which I talk about every week too. One of my number one sources for news in Bravo. This is Lala on the talk today after that. Let's say here. So this is what she does.
You just finished filming season 11 reunion episode, and word from the curb is Ariana had words for you. So are y'all still friends? Y'all cool with each other? What happened? I think the exact tweet was Ariana eviscerated Lala at the reunion, and it was friendship ruining, and only one of those things is true. I'll let y'all decide.
Oh, snap! Whoa! So one of those things could be true, friendship ender, or Ariana eviscerated her. So Ariana presented it like the friendship thing was potentially true, because Lala is not going to be like, Ariana did eviscerate me. She did. Me too. She eviscerated Lala. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll find out more and more information as that comes up, but that is a bummer. I don't know why I'm bummed. You know what? No, I do know why. It's because I really want to put our focus and energy on being angry at Tom Sandoval. Being angry at Tom Sandoval. We got a couple more episodes to be angry at Tom Sandoval, unless he keeps doing New York Times interviews. And then, we move on from there. And by the way, just even his performance in this episode, that's like punishment enough. Like, I'm like, holy shit, Tom, that's a new level of cringe. I mean, I thought it was like, that's even at your own house, you are being that cringy. That is wild. And I don't know. I for some reason still want some kumbaya sisterhood of the traveling Vanderpump pants to happen, where they're all like, yeah, put them in, like I want that. And I know that's just not reality. And so that was kind of like, and I did DM very briefly with Ariana on Sunday and just said, hey, hope you're well. Hope you're hanging in there. And I'm not going to, but she's on Broadway. She's living her dream. I just think it sucks. And that's like kind of a thing about life too, is that I talked about this last week, even when the best things are happening to you in the world, you still have to deal with all this other bullshit, like the Tetris of your life, fitting in all these blocks and, having to like three lives in a video game. You're getting crushed right and left. And sometimes you can fit a block here and everything works out. But life is that big ball of stress that even when that's why I always think like Ariana's getting so many opportunities, blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, think about that. Like, even if you get all these opportunities, it just makes sometimes the problems even that much bigger. And I don't know. So listen, that kind of confirms that with Lala and Ariana. Also, we're on episode 8. Andy said that the last 7 of episodes of this season of Vanderpump Rules were amazing. And I got to tell you, after watching episode 8, I think Andy might be lying again. It was good. In fact, I've watched it 3 times now. The first time, I think I just wasn't in the mind frame for it, like the state of mind. And then the second and third, and by the third, I found a lot of things to laugh about, which I can't wait to joke with you guys about. But I think the first, I was just like, oh God, what are we even fucking doing with our lives? I always hit that moment with this show every week. What are we doing with our lives? Like I'll say it to the characters on screen. I'll say it to myself internally. I'll call friends and family. Like, what am I doing with my life, man? It's wild. So yeah. What do you guys think? I wish this was a call-in show so bad. Oh, the other piece of information she revealed on Jeff Lewis is that she moved into a new house recently. So she moved from her condo to a new place. And that's the other thing. It's like, man, everybody did so well from this, even with all the pain, Scheana not getting Dancing with the Stars. Everybody did so well. Why can't we focus on the new houses and all of this stuff instead of like fighting with each other? And I think it just sometimes seems in regards to I don't know. I'm like, we got the villain this season. It's right there in front of us. Tom. He's getting so many opportunities by production to redeem himself. And even with these golden opportunities, he still finds a way to muck it all up. And when he goes rogue, screw Rachel going rogue. This Tom, Rachel going rogue, she seems like a genius compared to Tom. He goes rogue. He does some of the worst interviews I've ever seen in my life because Bravo didn't even know about him. Bravo, like, that's why they're sending people with Lala, like she's under lock and key potentially. And Tom is out there willy-nilly. And this is why you almost need people. This is almost an argument for Bravo reps being everywhere. It's like, yeah, man, he's you need watched. You don't know what the fuck. This man said Scott Peterson is allegedly, potentially, like, no, dude, he's allegedly guilty, dude. No, Schwartz, don't badmouth Scott Peterson, dude. Like this Tom Sandoval must have been presented some sort of murder documentary about men that were accused of murdering their girlfriends and wives, and it must be burned into his brain, because that New York Times interview is like, dude, it's like OJ Simpson, dude. And then this episode, he brings up Scott Peterson. I was like, stop, Tom, stop. Which YouTube rabbit hole did you go down? Because stop it. Somebody cut this man's Wi-Fi connection. It's insane. I can really feel the Celsius coursing through my, that's what this, I'm drinking a Celsius. That's why I'm even more hyper than you. It says sparkling kiwi guava, but there's no way there's not cocaine in this. This is just too hyped. Okay, I'm going to chill out. Going to relax. No, screw that. No, there's no way to relax. This man's hosting potentially underage pool parties. No. So this episode is called Peaks and Valleys. Do you get it? Valley. The valley's coming on right after it. Peaks and Valleys. This is the description the cable company gives us. Katie and Lala hash out their issues after an argument. Was that really hashing out that scene? It was literally like, I'm sorry too. Really, there's no hashing, just forgiving. And then it says Sandoval gets back into the dating pool. Oh, I get it, because it was in his pool. It should say Sandoval creepily got back into the dating pool. So as always, we have Lisa Vanderpump voiceover going, previously on Vanderpump Rules, nigga lane. And we have Scheana in that scene with Lisa of like, yeah, I picked up Ariana's boyfriend Dan from the airport, and he told me that Ariana was going to be on Dancing with the Stars. Oh, Scheana, no, you wanted so badly to be on Dancing with the Stars. Now, if you watch the Vanderpump Rules after show, Ariana said, listen, there was a time where it was, first off, I remember this time where the rumor had gotten out there initially, and they were trying to get it on ABC's radar. Like she did want to do that. And then I guess she was in the running. And then when it was offered, they are under this strict code of silence. But she says in the after show at this point, it was public information. So I'm not sure exactly what that means in regards for Scheana. And also Scheana with Dancing with the Stars is, somebody DM'd me like, oh, I usually agree with you, but I think something about Scheana having every right to be upset, or, because Sheena's taking dancing classes. And in this episode, we find out Tom motherfucking Sandoval took dance classes to we found, was that on the show or was that on the after show? Everything blurs in my head, but that he took classes to potentially be on Dancing with the Stars. And I was like, what is everybody just do a whole Vanderpump Rules edition of Dancing with the Stars? My God. And if I'm in fear for my life, what happens at the end of this season? Because what if Sandoval or Lala gets an offer to be on Dancing with the Stars next season? It's going to drive poor Scheana into an early grave. Like, it's literally going to break Scheana. Like, imagine Lala having to do Dancing with the Stars and Scheana having to go be a guest or Tom Sandoval for that matter. Now, I would almost rather, there is this is what's wrong. The Biggest Mess wins. I would almost want to see Sandoval on Dancing with the Stars, because he would do some Michael Jackson like, hoo, ooh, the way you make me feel, hoo, hoo. I can picture it in my mind's eye. And it's glorious. No, but Ariana went in there and killed it. My thing is, I think it's great to be prepared, great to take dancing classes. And Scheana said she had met all the executives and stuff like that. But I do want to tell you what a brutal town Los Angeles is. I feel like I tell you guys this all the time. Like, Scheana was telling stories of yeah, I met the head casting person. I met the head person, this and that. And they told me I would be great on it. Do you know how many people just tell you shit in Los Angeles? Do you know how many people had told me oh, yeah, I promise you a job over here. I promise you a job over there. Or I'm going to remember you for this. I'm going to remember you for that. It so rarely happens. And that's what sucks. Even when you get to a certain level, even like Scheana, when you get to a level where you're doing this full time, it's still we see that it's still this uphill battle. So I feel for her in that sense when you want something, but I just don't feel like Scheana and Ariana were ever in competition for that one spot. That wasn't the case. But I got to tell you, people tell you shit all the time. I mean, Tom Sandoval's promising young girls to show him a pool party. Actually, he did fulfill that wish. So that was one of the scenes from a previous episode. Lisa, planting her little seeds about how bad Ariana is. And then we had that scene with Sandoval and Lisa of like, I'm worried about Rachel, dude. Well, I talked to Rachel very long on the phone. We're talking 8 hours, Tom, and she is very not happy with you, you know. And then Tom's like, she blocked me, dude. Well, I guess it's over then. Please bring me more ice cream. That was his big thing last week. Sandoval was like, dude, I brought you ice cream, dude. Let's put some dairy in our bellies and just fight about Rachel. It's over, Tom. And then Scheana and Brock, their storyline is still about a nanny for Summer Moon and making sure that Sheena's comfortable because she is flitting about the city. And then we ended last week with Lala and Katie going after it. And, you know, Katie going, you always have to be bigger and better. And Katie going, you're a bit much. Well, you're a bit much all the fucking time. You're a bit much all the fucking time. You know, like Lala was pointing and Katie was like, don't point at me. I mean, two titans of the industry laying on a floor at Allie Dally's house while she read birth charts. Whew. So that was the recap of the previous episodes. We do the and by the way, also in regards to something about her, Katie was on Katie was on Watch What Happens Live after Tuesday night's episode and said, Andy was like, so when will it be open? Will it be open in 2024? And she's like, oh my God, yes, definitely. So she says, I'm not going to tell you the launch date, but yes. So I guess something about her is still a go, which thank God, because I was worried, oh my God, they're going to riot. The fans are going to riot if this place doesn't open. Just like, fuck, at this point, just go sell Subway sandwiches on there. There's something about her low, you know? So thank God. Anyways, we start with this wild song. It's like, woo, on fire. Yeah. It's like whistle music. It's like, that's a good laugh. And we start round robining the scenes. We go over to Summer and Brock and Scheana at the Marina Del Rey. She's picking out her outfits for her new pink cast. And then we zoom over to Tom Schwartz's apartment. Butters, the dog, is licking his butthole. And Tom Schwartz is putting on Crest whitening strip with a mud mask. And you see a hat. A very lonely hat that says, Joe, my gosh, J-O. So that means we are in the presence of Tom Schwartz's friend. And we see Joe pop into frame and she's wearing a Tom hat. And, you know, she pops in and it's immediate hijinks already. It's like, pull my finger. Woo-hoo, whoa. They're like the Three Stooges, but two of them. He's like, yeah, that's not the way to go. I'm Joe. All right. But also they do Tom Schwartz, Joe's friend, and then they put in parentheses the person that he doesn't live with, but she's over there watching him put Crest white strips on and has an Aztec mud mask on. But who knows? Who are we to judge? And then we zoom over to the Valley where DJ James Kennedy and Allie are playing with Hippie the dog. I'm not going to do the dog sound effect. And James touches a plant. He's like, oh, I just got electrocuted by a flower. And Allie's like, there's a thorn in it. No, Allie Dally, there's like an electrical shock current. I touched it. I felt it. I touched the bloody petal and there was electricity. And Allie just looks so sad. She's just like, is this worth it? Is this worth it? So much. And then we zoom over to what looks like, you know, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and we find out that it's Tom and Ariana's place, but they are setting up for a party. You got poor Ann, the assistant, doing things in the kitchen. You got some new Tom's friend, like with a shaker, and Tom is trying to mess with these curtains. He's like, these things are so expensive, dude, and they don't even work, man. Oh, man. Where are the clips, Ann? Where are the clips? And he's like, I'll find it. The other new girl is Jessica, I guess, Tom's friend. We zoom on up to Ariana's, and you see that once again, we see the room that she used to share with Tom from a different angle, and there is just moving boxes everywhere. It looks like a hostage situation. You just see boxes everywhere. I mean, and this is probably her cleaning up for the crew to be around there. So like the moving boxes are what? I have a feeling she does not stay there as much as people think, or I kind of did know that a little bit, especially when Dan would come into town. But I mean, this play, it's like a bomb shelter. It's like everything is in there. I'm shocked she doesn't have like a mini pool and jacuzzi in that she made in the bedroom, so she just doesn't have to leave. At this point, I would just do something where you can climb out the window just to make it less awkward for it just I feel bad. I feel like Anne needs to get in there and help her with these boxes. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, she FaceTimes Katie and they compliment each other. Makeup looks good. Everybody looks good. And Ariana's like, yeah, I got to get out of here for the rest of the day. I'm going to be out of the house for a few hours because of this super cool pool party. Katie's like, when is that happening? It's like, I guess now. And we go downstairs and all of a sudden it's a who's who, Tom Schwartz, Kyle Chan. We see Kitty, Tom and Ariana's cat and Tom's new friend, Jessica. It's literally a who's who. Like I said earlier, who the fuck are these people? And Schwartz is like, is this like sanctioned by Ariana? Like, have you guys like had conversations about this? Like, how did Schwartz become the voice of reason all of a sudden? Like, where was this Schwartz when Sandoval used to go over to whack off at his place with Rachel on FaceTime at Schwartz's place? Where was this guy then? This guy now all of a sudden is like, are you sure this is like respectful? And Sandoval is in his like Fruit Loop necklace and his sunglasses indoors, Tom backwards ball cap, looking like a Mark Wahlberg, feel the vibration, And Sandoval's like, yeah, dude, we have an agreement, dude. Yeah. He's like, oh, really? Yeah, for today, yeah. You think I'm just like, oh, surprise? No, dude, that's not how this works. I love it. Sandoval's like, you think I would just be like, yo, surprise? This dude had a 7-month relationship and was like, yeah, surprise, this phone fell out of my pocket. This is somebody fiddling with himself that like, this is wild. I love that, like, he's like, what do you think I am, dude? Somebody that just goes around and does crazy things without permission? No way, dude. And so we zoom back up and Ariana says, are you going to dinner with Lala, Katie? And Katie seems nervous. She's like, I don't know if she's going to come in pissed, if she's going to want to pop somebody. And Ariana's like, well, hopefully it'll all blow over quickly and you guys are just going to have a nice dinner, which it turns out is kind of what they did. I thought it was going to be explosions and it wasn't at all. We go back downstairs. This new friend, Jessica, is passing out shots on a tray. Everybody's around and Jason, Tom's friend, manager, band leader, podcast co-host, he's like, yeah, there's a non-alcoholic whiskey that we have around here. Listen, for all my friends that are sober and stuff like that, I guess this is, when I think of this, I'm like, just have a Diet Coke. And I know it's not whatever you want to do, I guess, but I just hear non-alcoholic whiskey. I'm like, how, like, what, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's a lot. Like Tom's constantly has a Heineken Zero in his hand. Like he loves Diet Slice. What about just a Diet Slice? I mean, maybe it's like the social aspect of it. I can't speak to that because, so I'll let that one, slide. But the party is going in this kitchen. Ariana walks downstairs and she doesn't even look back into that kitchen as they're cheersing and just walks out the door. Thank God. She turns back finally at the door and we see Billy Lee's there. Just a who's who. And then we cut on over. Oh, you guys, we cut on over to the Henry. And this is where Lala and Katie will be having their tete-a-tete to find out where their relationship goes from here. So this scene is kind of like, it's very weird because you think things are going to pop off and it just doesn't. And they both say they're sorry and they literally get up and hug each other at one point. I got to tell you, if you watch this through a different lens, through my weirdo lens, it's almost like a romantic scene. It's almost like, there's like a Jerry Maguire element to this where I felt like it was like Bruce Springsteen's song was going to come on of like, she met you in her house, kind late at night, a secret garden she had. It was almost romantic of like Lala going, do you agree that you sometimes hit below the belt? And Katie's like, I know I do. And then Lala even admits she goes too far. And then Katie's like, I'm sorry. And then Lala gets up and hugs her. It is like, I mean, it's such a soft scene. And Lala in the talking head says, listen, I'm trying to get soft and heal from trauma. That's the thing with Lala, though, right? It's like she'll pop off. But the interesting thing about this season is she'll pop off, and then within the same scene, she will get softer. You know, like we saw it on the boat with Tom a couple of weeks ago in Tahoe, where Wolf is opening up. We see this. So it's very interesting. Like Lala seems to be her stamina for forgiveness and for almost apologizing for her own actions. That time is getting like smaller in between. So I think it's just weird because I was just expecting something completely different. And I was like, wait, I don't want to see two people just forgive each other. Wait, you think I'm watching this for people to forgive each other? What, do you think I'm some rube? No, I felt kind of weird because I was like, but wouldn't it be great if Lala threw that Diet Coke? Like, like I kept looking for some kind of explosion that was never going to happen. So this was oddly mature, and I don't know how I feel about that. I know I do. I feel bad. Lala literally says to Katie, can you be a little softer with me? And Katie's like, yeah, that's kind of my thing. And Lala even says, I think there's going to come a point in time where we're going to cut so deep, it'll be like game over. And maybe that didn't happen with Lala and Katie, but maybe that happened with Lala and Ariana at the reunion where they can't come back from that. But it's reality TV. So I like to assume that everybody can come back from that, except for Tom and Ariana. So also, I was thinking about tone and delivery that they talk about in this scene is that Katie and Lala are similar. Like, when I love that Katie stands up for herself more and more now, but it is interesting speaking about tone and delivery. It's something in the human's voice, right? Like Lala, if you think about her voice, it is, it's a little bit of a higher range, not high, but it's like high, and it's very clear. The word she says, it comes out like disengage, bitch. You want to get popped? Like very clear, very enunciated. And Katie's voice is like, I would say 2 octaves lower. And it's not mumbling by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not thrown away, but it is a little, it's just different. It's different in terms of the tone and the delivery. And I think as humans, we are more accustomed to be drawn towards people in the way like Lala speaks in terms of like the clarity. And I know this is looking way too deep into it, but we're 8 episodes in. And I think Katie, like I think tone and delivery, it's just all in terms of the quality of the voice. And I think sometimes Katie suffers from that. And then people think, oh, well, she's just miserable and stuff like that. And I think it's just sometimes just that quality of her voice that doesn't do her any favors sometimes. Okay, guys, buckle in. We jet on over to Tom's sexy singles pool party, and it starts with Israel, who is this tall dude that I think was a host at Schwartz and Sandy's, maybe still is, and also I think was a host at Sir or Tom Tom for a second. But we see him cannonballing into the pool, and it is just it's just a surly group of people. We see Anne having to pass out shots with the smile on her face. I'm like, okay, this is just what a horrible job. I hate Los Angeles. Kill me, just kill me. Yeah, all right. We see some random girl take her top off in the pool. I was like, wait, let's leave the tops on, maybe. Like, we're in day, like it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. Kyle Chan's having a mocktail. Sandoval's cheersing with somebody, and Schwartz is like, hey man, I'm gonna like dip out. Hey, when we talked at dinner last night, I'm like hoping to have like a potential romantic interest here. Is that? And we flash back to that James Bond dinner where they all dressed up like the Rat Pack, and Sandoval's like, yeah, dude, at the pool party I'm having, I met a couple girls at THU next Tuesday, and I think they're like invited to the pool party. So Schwartz is inquiring about that, like, you have some romantic interest. And Schwartz is like, just the idea of you being in here after everything that happened and me being implicated is sort of like a wingman. And Sandoval's like, well, it wasn't your fault, dude. Schwartz in a talking head says, I'm so proud of Tom putting himself out there, but maybe like, don't do it in like, under the same roof of the girl that you cheated on. Whoa, look at the big brain on Schwartz all of a sudden. Where did this moment of clarity come from? Holy shit. Also, on top of that, not just under the roof of the girl he cheated on, he literally cheated in those waters. If you listen to Rachel's first episode of Rachel Goes Rogue, she was like, we went in the pool, they were in the pool doing the hippity dippity. Like those are infested waters. Those are shark waters. Like literally. Oh, dude, you want to know a cool story? You know that girl Rachel, dude, that Sandoval's about? I hooked up with her all over back here, dude. Yeah, we didn't even drain the pool yet, man. It's crazy. So Schwartz is like, I don't know if this is necessarily what we were talking about. He's like, Schwartz is like, it just feels weird to me. And Sandoval's like, okay, dude, I'm gonna roll out. All right, dude. And he goes, I painted my toenails for you, dude, because we have a shot of his feet and his little footsies. Shout out to Dan Schneider. They're the toenails are painted. On top of that, he has one of those Fruit Loop bracelets that he wears around his neck. He has one of those around his ankle. And Schwartz dips out. At this point, also, where was Joe? We need a little Joe of hey, put my finger. It's me, Joe. This feels like a Joe kind of party. So now Schwartz is dipped out and Sandoval's like, the party keeps going, dude. He's like, I get it. Schwartz is being diplomatic here, but it's not like we're having a fucking orgy in the living room, dude. And then we cut to Israel screaming on top of the jacuzzi to some girl, the body is out, mama. The body is out. And we see the drummer sipping a Coors Light in the jacuzzi. I mean, it is this is a sad scene. I hope they were having a time of their lives because it reads very sad. And also Tom's like, at least I thought we're gonna have an orgy in here. Dude, you want to have an orgy so bad. Even when you were on that Howie Mandel podcast, other interviews talking about dude, I had to whack off the porn in the bathroom, dude. I feel like Sandoval really does want to sow some kind of wild oats that he's actually been sowing for the last 30 years of his life, potentially, or 20 years of his life at least. And now he's under this of I've got to experience everything that life has to offer. I've got to really do it, man. So we see Sandoval chilling now in the jacuzzi, leaning up against it, and Billy Lee is there. Billy Lee's right next to him, and she's like, did you meet my girlfriend Ty? Did you meet my girlfriend Ty? Did you? And he's like, yeah, dude. And we see Ty, Billy Lee's friend, who looks like a very cute girl sitting on one of the sofas. And Sandoval's like, yeah, dude. And Billy Lee's like, and what did you? And she's cool, dude. She's cool. And then Billy Lee's like, is anyone else coming by? And he's like, yeah, yeah. Like an after hours situation? No, dude, I'm not going to get crazy here. I don't want to cause any friction with my roommate. And Billy Lee gives this look like, oh, not that again. Oh, God, Ariana. Oh, my God. You should be able to do whatever you want in this. It was just that look that said it all. It was the opposite of the look she gave Tom when he was coming out of the cold plunge. It was like, oh, my God, Tom, you literally should be having an orgy. Let me get the Crisco. Billy Lee, take it down all of the notches. And the way just look at the body, Sandoval's leaning back he's a badass. He's like, dude, I'm so respectful. And I'm just very respectable. It's no, you're not. This is ridiculous. Anyway, Sandoval laughs. That girl Ty is just looking at Sandoval like he's a piece of meat. And Tom gets a text from this girl, Michelle. He's like, oh, the girls I invited are here, dude. And he goes into the house to get them. He's like, thanks for coming. Hey, guys. And we meet Kate and Michelle, girls from See You Next Tuesday. And you guys, they look like babies. It was very much a...
All right. I'll tell you, that's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
All right, dude. I get older, they stay the same age. Yeah, dude. It was so McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. but not nearly as charming as that character. These girls literally like, hey guys, this is Kate and Michelle, dude. They're juniors over at Burbank High School. And yeah, they watched the show. It gave really weird energy. These poor girls. And, like, yeah, should we go? Like Tom Sandoval, we've watched them on TV. It was so, like, I pray to God that these were like paid extras or somebody I pray to God these literally weren't girls he met at See You Next Tuesday. And this is some sort, it's weird. Like, how does Tom's friends go like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. It looks like he has 21-year-olds here. And Anne, the assistant's like, oh, it keeps getting better. All right. Tom does another shot with everybody with his non-alcoholic whiskey everybody else is drinking. He's like, cheers, bitches. Yeah, dude. The party is going, folks. Oh, he's like, come on outside, dude. See the pool. And Anne is still, out there giving shots to people. Sandoval's in the pool with Israel, and the two girls hop in. And Tom literally cheers in the pool, and he goes, here's, dude, to staying positive and testing negative. And Israel's like, hey, I like that. No, you don't like, you like that. What you like that? No, nobody should like that. Like that's the toast to staying positive and testing negative. If I were those two girls, it would literally be like, we got to run. Like, this is not good. This is not, thank God it's daytime. It would be even scarier at night. So these two girls have these like cups and they're all cheersing each other. And Israel's like, my favorite cheers. All right. And then Israel asked the girls, goes, are you dating? Do you have a husband? And the girls are like, no, please stop talking to us. And Sandoval's like, I've never been married, by the way. And it's just awkward. He's like, I'll probably be married by next year, knowing me. I'm kidding. He does that awkward thing of like, I'll probably be married by next year. I'm kidding. Like, it's so weird. And if you watch him in the pool, he looks like he potentially has to shit or something because his legs are crossed over like a dainty lady. He's crossing his legs in the pool like he might have like a boner or something. You go back and watch the scene. It was so scary to me.
Right ahead.
Iceberg, right ahead. But he's like, oh, I'll probably be married. I'm crazy like that. I'll probably be married like that. I don't know. Yeah. So this is when I literally walk in like, did you know Tom had the creepiest pool party I've ever heard of? I can't believe that. Tom literally had 21-year-olds in the pool, and then he had a little bone. I can't believe that. Also, was Sandoval on a bunch of chocolate mushrooms or something? This can't just be completely sober. Like, I want to blame this behavior on something so bad. And then he's like, hey, okay, yeah, anyways, what else do I got? Hey, you guys been to Burning Man? And Burning Man is like this kind of arts festival in the desert. And it's a certain type of thing, but this is the most perfect thing that Sandoval could say. You guys ever been to Burning Man? This would have been a great year for me to go, dude. It really would have. Yeah. And they're all like, oh, he's like, I'm single. Like, and they're like, really? I do have a roommate though. Did I tell you guys about my roommate? Right. And they're like, who's your roommate? Just my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, dude. Yeah. He goes, nothing serious, like a 10-year relationship. And just silence from the girls. And talking to, it's like, just act like talking to people. It's like a muscle. And it's something that I haven't used in a while. No shit. And then in the scene, he goes, I keep her locked in the room and I crush potato chips and put them under the door for her to eat, dude. So that's hysterical. He's saying that he locked her in there. That's what he says. He trapped her and then he feeds her. Like, where does that, I mean, what, like, I don't, like the comedic mind, the comedy stylings of Mr. Tom Sandoval. What's the deal with your ex-girlfriend not moving out of their own house? What's the deal with that? Yeah. Hey, what's the deal with not being able to cheat with somebody where you have sex with them in the driveway? What's the deal with that, huh? Yeah. The potato chips, he must have thought he was on fire. He's like, dude, I slipped into this potato chip line and it was pretty cool. I might be performing at the Aspen Comedy Festival. Def Jam, right? You know what I'm saying? I felt so bad. I wanted to save these girls so bad. And then he was like, I'm just kidding about the potato chips. in a talking he's like, I feel like I can get back into this pretty quickly. Yeah. No, you can't. There's no there. What happened? I mean, like Tom had more mojo when he was in a 9-year relationship to actually talk to women that weren't Ariana, it seems. I mean, I love that he was like, it's a muscle, dude. And it turns out I'm jacked because these girls, they're giving me no reaction, which means they are loving it. Oh. I'm going to need those girls to write a tell-all one day. In fact, if anybody can track down those girls, I would love to have one or both of them on the podcast to talk about their pool party experience. I mean, I need a tell-all book. That's it. I need a 3-part Max docu-series on like, we're at See You Next Tuesday. We're from Minnesota, and a man in a Fruit Loop necklace and a sweater with cut off sleeves came up to us and he was like, what's up, dude? Also, I just pictured there's like those sandwich sign spinners, they're like, come into our store. I feel like there must have been like a sandwich sign spinner outside of Tom's place of like, pool party this way, come on in. Anyways, the next day we're there and Anne is the place is a wreck and Anne is just cleaning up. She's like, oh my God, there's shoes on a chair. I mean, literally shit is covered the walls. It says like red rum. I mean, none of that stuff, but it just looks like a mess. And Ariana comes down and she's like, okay, Scheana's coming over in a second. Oh my God, there's so much shit on the floor. We see potato chips, just glasses, socks on the floor. And Ariana's like, what is Anne's description? She cleans up after him. She does his laundry. We see a flashback scene 9 days earlier where Anne is going through Tom's bag and she's like, what's this? He's like, it's hairspray, dude. And then she's like, Tom, it's one sock. And he's like, no, dude, it's a headband, dude. You wouldn't understand, Anne. It's a headband for my glorious rock star hair. Ariana says she's taken on kind of like a mother role. And then Ariana goes, is there hair on the floor? And we see a chunk of what looks like white hair. Just a chunk. Like who, like what in like, I just imagine somebody having really long white pubic hair potentially. And Tom going, that's Rockstar. Yeah. So anyways, Ariana's like, I'm worried about Anne. And I think we're all worried about Anne. I think we all know where this is headed. That I think she's going to quit in the next couple of episodes. So Anne goes upstairs and Sandoval is working away in the gym. He's like, come in, dude. And he was watching his big screen TV on the treadmill with a huge incline. And Anne's like, Scheana's coming over. They're going to be downstairs. And then Sandoval's like, how's downstairs looking? And she's like, I'm on it. Okay. Yeah, that's great, dude. He's like, one of Anne's duties as my assistant is to do some light housekeeping. I know whatever I can't get to, and I'll clean up, dude. And we see a horror theme play as we see shots of all the mess. He's like, so, I'm never kind of just leaving a mess ever, dude. So Scheana comes in. She's very happy it's air conditioned because the valley is hot, which I feel like is just underground promotion for the valley the next hour. And Scheana's looking around at the mess and it's like, what's going on here, Pink? And Ariana's like, no, it was like the sexy singles pool party. And Scheana gives Ariana a look like, was I not invited to the sexy singles pool party? Before realizing it was Tom's party. She's like, why wasn't I invited? It's this and Dancing with the Stars? What? Ariana's like, normally I would hang out in the kitchen, but let's go hang out on the couch over here. And Scheana pets the cat, the dog. And she's like, hey, listen, I'm going to have some people over tomorrow and we're just going to do a game night. We're not going to have a fucking sexy single pools party. She is like, and then Ariana goes, babe, how are you? Because people are telling me that you are upset with me. And we flash back to that scene with Lala trying to explain that, Scheana's worried that she can't be friends with Tom and be friends with you. And then we flash back to a scene that we didn't see in the show of Lisa going like, Scheana's very worried that she's going to hurt you in some way, which I wish I had seen more of this scene. And I hope at the reunion, Ariana and Lisa do have some words because Lisa is a shit stirrer, AKA producer on this show. And I feel like from the looks of it, does not like Ariana that much. I mean, truly, it is funny. Like this cast mainly has made Ariana into the big bad. Like they've made her into this untouchable person that how dare thou get these jobs? How dare thou must be taken down a peg. Because before, when Ariana would just be chill on seasons and not some like breakout star in this show, like once all of a sudden she does become one, people just seem to really lose their fucking minds. I know I say this week after week, but it's shocking to watch. So Ariana's trying to like, listen, Scheana, what's going on? So even with Lisa, she's like, listen, do you think I should have breached my NDA and told her about Dancing with the Stars? Because Lisa's like, she's so hurt about Dancing with the Stars. And Scheana in the scene with Ariana goes, wait, what I don't like is people telling me how I feel and putting words in my mouth, Lisa especially. And Ariana's like, yeah, that's who I talk to. And she was like, well, Dancing with the Stars, just the way you handle it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I handle? And she was like, obviously, that's something I wanted forever. I started dance class and I just felt like I was really being considered for this season. And then she goes, I was being considered for this season, yada, yada, yada. Wow, like Scheana dropped a yada, 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 a throwback to, I didn't know Scheana was a Seinfeld fan. I was taking dance class, yada, yada, yada. And I love that Ariana's dog is just sitting there watching Scheana, just like literally just more misery. Just like, well, I have Sandoval throwing pool parties. Sheena's over here talking about Dancing with the Stars, literally just trying to take a nap. I'm Maya, the dog. I'm just trying to take a nap. And she was like, you never told me you got it. And I was like, oh, damn, I kind of wish I heard it from you. And Ariana's like, I understand that. And she's like, was it a punch to the gut? Was it disappointing? Did I have a good cry? Yes. But I'm genuinely happy for you, right? And Ariana's like, yeah. Which I feel like at this point, that the subtext is no. Like, did I have a good cry? Like, what would actually make me feel better about this scene if Scheana cried at every Dancing with the Stars casting, like every year? Like, if that would make more sense to me. If for like the last 10 seasons of Dancing with the Stars, Sheena's thought there might have been a chance and she cries every year she doesn't see her name on the cast list. Believe me, I auditioned for the musical The Fantastics in high school and I was really on a roll with school musicals and plays and I didn't get it. And I had a good cry, sure, but I didn't go tell, Brian Golub, my competition, that I was bummed that he got it. I was like, did I have a good cry? Yeah, I saw myself up there in The Fantastics. Anyways, at this point, Scheana is literally holding Maya, the dog's paw, and Maya was like, what? I didn't sign up for this at all. So Ariana's like, I should have told you myself, completely understand how you feel. And she was like, I just want you to know, you can always trust me. And Ariana's like, I do. And I think when Lisa was saying that Sheena's upset with you and Lala was like, you really need to talk to Scheana, I was like, can I trust that Sheena's being honest with me? Because if like, you're not able to tell me how you feel about things in the moment, that scares me that like other people, you do feel more comfortable talking with about it. And she's like, well, I feel like Lala and I are like together, obviously way more often. And she does ride very hard for me. And in a talking head, Scheana's like, I feel like Ariana used to be my person. I would literally talk to her about everything. But lately talking to her has been difficult. I don't know what she's going through. She goes, I don't feel like she's been super receptive with my feelings. Back in the scene, she's like, I also, obviously, when it does come to Tom, more than anyone in this group, you know who he was to me up until March 1st. I miss that friend of 14 years. And Ari's like, yeah, well, it's hard because sure, maybe I miss that person that used to maybe exist. But then like immediately all of these things come to mind that were just so insidious. It's hard to be like, oh, my best friend is telling me she misses that person. And Scheana, you can just tell doesn't land. And she's like, okay, let's say years from now, I come to you and say, you know what, Ariana? I have actually seen that Sandoval has done all the work. He is a completely different person. I'm going to see about, kind of like being his friend again. How would you feel? Ariana's like, I think Scheana is bringing this up because she 100% has plans to be friends with Sandoval. And I think she's trying to soften that blow when this becomes reality. And in the scene, Ariana's like, well, I would kind of be not a side eye, not in a judgy way, but a side eye in a way of like, you in danger, girl. Scheana, this obviously doesn't land for her once again. And that is just, I love Scheana was like, okay, let's spitball. Okay, let's just throw out some like hypotheticals, right? Okay. Now say there's like nuclear war, okay? And say like there is like 3 people left on the planet, okay, right? And food and electricity, like we have all that stuff. Okay, but it's like me, you, and then we find out it's like Tom Sandoval. And it's like, okay, it's like 3 people. Like we need to like repopulate the planet. Like, like am I allowed to potentially talk to him then? I also like the years from now. And I almost wanted Ariana to be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. 2027. Let's write it down. Let's get a contract going. I would love like Sheena's like, let me get my day planner out. Let's do this. August 23rd, let's do 2026, couple years. We'll see where we're at. I love that she was like, okay, he's like a totally different person at that point. Like, this is wild. Like the hypothetical took me out. And also Ariana saying you in danger, girl, which is obviously the famous line that Whoopi Goldberg says in Ghost. But then I think Lala says it later in the, did one of the cast members just discover the movie Ghost for the first time and they're passing around the same copy? And they're like, did you see when Whoopi said you in danger, girl? Let's use that this season. That's going to be fantastic. But this is wild because I'm like, Scheana, I just love that Scheana really is like, why is Ariana not being receptive about my feelings about Tom? But Ariana's trying to gently say, this is the man that did all these insidious things to me. So I hope you can understand that when my best friend comes and says, I want to be friends with him, it's a little, and also I'm hearing it from all of these other people, but you who keep saying you're my best friend, but you don't feel comfortable enough to tell me these things. And that's the other thing too. And I think with celebrity or success, there's a little bit of your old friends, even if they're successful too, all of a sudden don't know how to talk to you. And it's sometimes not the actual person that's going through the success. It's all the people around them that are wigging out. They don't know how to deal with it. And the person that's going through it, they usually don't know how to deal with it either. They're just holding on for dear life, trying to ride it out. And so it's a weird situation, but I feel like just by default, everybody's treating her like she has like 3 heads all of a sudden. And then the man who did all this stuff, they're just like, oh, that's Tom. He's just a mess. He's a funny mess. He'll cheat on you. He'll do anything. He's crazy. He dresses funny. Karaoke. Insanity is not over because now we zoom over to this lake with like duck boats in Los Angeles, and Schwartz, he's in a scene with Joe, our friend Joe. So it's going to be wacky. Whoop, I put my finger on Joe. I'm a Joe, my Joe Blow. The Joeth cometh. And Schwartz is like, this is like my little happy place. And then Joe's like, your whittle happy place? She's already made 30 faces, and there's like a long lens, but I can tell she's making faces from down like the whole street. And Joe, did you notice how Joe walks? It's like an elevated Freddie Mellencamp walk. Theodore Mellencamp, Teddy Mellencamp walks from her hips. It's like, I'm Joe, I'm walking funny. She walks like she has clown pants on. She walks like she has MC Hammer pants. Like, I can't touch this. Ding, 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 ding. She just walks. Like, you watch this walk. I love everything about her right now. She's like, I've never been here before. And he's like, what? She's like, did you go surfing this morning? I did. There's so many sharks this morning in the water. And then Schwartz is like, how many bites does it take to get a Joseph? And that's when you know it's a cutesy relationship. Doesn't call her Joe, calls her Joseph. Oh, what's up, Joseph? Joseph the third. And then she answers the question about how many bites does it take for a shark to get Joseph. And Joe's like, oh, 1. Joe is wearing like what looks like a denim Schwartz and Sandy's hat. So she's already worn a Tom Tom hat, a Schwartz and Sandy's hat. Hopefully at some point we see her wear Schwartz's Letterman's jacket from high school or something. She's in some sort of like mesh top, like sunglasses, necklace. It's a whole look, man. It is a whole thing. Anyway, so they're walking. And Joe's like, it's like a nip. There's like no fat on me. In a talking head, the producer's like, despite all of the saying you aren't dating, this kind of looks like a date. And Schwartz is like, I could probably marry Joe and be happy, but like, I don't want that right now. Well, I do, but I don't. At this point, I want to find some legal way to make Schwartz be with Joe. Like, I mean, it is I want to force Schwartz to be with Joe. Like, I don't even want to have him be able to make a decision. I feel like, nope, they're together. They're a couple, period. Like, I know he doesn't want it. And he's gonna say, like, oh, I could, but not right now. I've got to wait a little bit. I've got some maturing to do. I'll wait till I'm 25. Wait, how old am I? It's this whole vibe. And then Schwartz in the scene goes, oh, this park has kind of like rom-com vibes. Dude, don't fucking say things like rom-com when you have a girl that is like desperately madly in love with you and she's like, we can totally just be friends. Put my finger. And inside her heart's breaking. Anything that Schwartz says, she's debating in her mind of like, does that mean he loves me? Does it, like she's probably just tortured. Like anything this man does, like if this guy farts, she's like, holy shit, he loves me. And Joe, to the rom-com thing, she like, sort of, kind of, I guess. In a talking head, he's like, getting out of a 13-year relationship and getting into another one is kind of haphazard. And if I was watching like a friend do this, I would probably intervene and be like, take some time, date some people, explore. Schwartz, that's not necessarily true because you saw your friend Sandoval cheating on his 9-year relationship with Rachel, and you were like, how can I help, dude? So, but no, I think he's, you live, you learn, as Alanis Morissette says. So they get on these duck boats. They have little life vests on, and Joe's like, ha ha, ooh, wow. Oh, wow, cowabunga. Hey, I gotta tell you my turtle story. And there is something I've learned with people like Joe. They always have turtle stories. You know what I'm saying? They'll hit you with turtle stories, right? If Joe didn't have a turtle story, I would be weird. And Schwartz is like, yeah, I would assume you do have a turtle story. And they get in the duck boat. And they're like, we're going to steer it together. They get pushed off. And she's like, I got to tell you my turtle story first. Okay. I'm like 6 or 7 years old. He's like, yeah, I have a turtle and I walk it on a leash. Whoa. And his name's Charlie. Charlie the turtle. Whoop-a. And I'm walking Charlie over this grate. And it just falls in. And Schwartz is like, no way. And he's like, I couldn't get him out. I couldn't get him out. And I guess he became a Ninja Turtle. Cowabunga. This poor turtle died on Joe's watch. I mean, I'm not going to even get into putting a turtle on a leash or even how that works. And you would think if the turtle falls in the grate, she would be holding the leash. So somehow this turtle was moving so fast away from Joe and her energy that it was like broke free of the leash, because you would think if the turtle fell in, Joe had the leash and would be able to catch. But Joe like, bye, turtle. Bye, Charlie. It's good knowing you. I liked your energy. And anyways, like Schwartz is laughing. This turtle is somewhere being like, I will get vengeance on Joe. Like, I have a feeling, like, does the turtle show up at the reunion of like, Andy's like, Joe, you made quite a splash this season. And we have one person that would love to say hello. Charlie, the turtle. And Charlie's like, what the fuck did you do to me, girl? I was on a fucking leash. How did you drop me in a grate? And also at that point, like, what I need a drawing of the grate. Like, you couldn't like lift the grate. It's like, sorry. What if Joe lost all her family pets that way? I lost 3 dogs through grates. Anyways, they're laughing about this story. And she was like, he became a Ninja Turtle. Joseph, look around. this is iconic. He was like, how was your weekend? Did you go on any dates? Did you fire up that Hinge account? And she was like, oh, no. And this is like probably her heart's like sinking of like, oh no, he's asking me about dates. No. Because she wants him to like her. And that's, that's like that whole thing of like, no, I'm never. Hinge is stupid. No, I'm never going to date again. I'm cool. Just being Joe by my lonesome. Ha ha. And you just tell she's crying on the inside. She's like, I'm going to go hang out with Allie, actually. He's like, what? Yeah, apparently she's like reading birth charts. In a talking head, Joe's talking head. I love Joe's talking head. She's like, meeting Allie at Sir was so nerve-wracking because she's beautiful. We get a flashback to that meeting last week. But I really got a good vibe from her. She's been super sweet to me. The other girls didn't give me a fair chance, specifically Katie. She's like a jealous ex, and I think that anybody that comes into Tom Schwartz or dates him is going to get a lot of hate. So they literally do, like, Schwartz makes a raspberry noise. He goes, and they see a little duck in the water at this point, and the duck's like, get the fuck out of my way. And Joe's like, that duck sounds like me. And Schwartz is like, maybe you were that duck in another life. Okay. The narrative that Joe is, putting out there of like, the other girls are so mean to me. Like, you got to understand, like, when you hear the story of like, you were literally fucking Doute's friend, you were her friend. And then you like almost kind of dumped her to hang out with Schwartz, and you had been texting Katie as well. Like, there's a lot of rumors about Joe that she desperately wanted to be around the people on this show. And that's what I said last week. There are so many weirdos and losers that just hang around. They're just the periphery of these people. And they all say they don't want to be on the show. But then they're like, oh my God, do you see who I was with last night? Oh my God, did you see it? Like, they're so sadly, secretly proud. So it's funny and sad to watch this, but also the narrative that Joe is putting out there. Joe has to realize she did play a part in this. She did play a part in people being upset with her because the, accumulation of Schwartz as her friend that she lives with, when Doute says, dude, I was like in a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. She could have stayed with me. She stayed with me many times. Like, she didn't need to move in with Tom Schwartz. So, that narrative, it only goes so far. But yeah, you are going to have to be hazed by these girls. But even Katie on Watch What Happens Live was like, yeah, man, I think they should be together. It does it's very similar energy, and it really is. So we're on to the next scene. It is a night at the Belmont on La Cienega in West Hollywood. These Vanderpump kids have been going there forever. I've seen Sandoval, Ariana, all of them do karaoke there on Sunday nights. I mean, it's a really actually fun, cool bar. There's like a main bar, and they're at the side bar. Tom's in an all-white outfit to match his white nails with an aloe hat, and he's like leaned over the bar with Schwartz, and he's like, dude, I've always wanted to play the piano, dude, like a big grand piano in here. I don't know how to play any instruments, but that would be fucking dope, dude. Yes. And so Scheana's there on a mom's night out. And Schwartz is there, DJ James Kennedy, Lala, and the whole gang is there. And Sandoval like, Synth Tahoe, I've been wanting to try and reconnect with my friends. Losing them, it was tough, though, and any step forward with them, any sort of reconnection, it feels good, dude. Yeah, I just want Sandoval in this scene to ask everybody of like, you ever been to Burning Man, dude? But anyways, we see after everybody's there, Katie and Ariana walks in, guys. She is actually there in a group scene. Tom is sipping on his near beer, and Schwartz is talking to Sandoval, so doesn't see Ariana come in, but Ariana comes in, and Tom like turns around and sees her. He's like, oh, fuck, dude. And Lala goes, I can't even put into words how huge of a deal that Ariana is here breathing the same air as Tom Sandoval. And you can tell Tom's frustrated. He's like, oh, harumph. He's like, I didn't expect her to show up for this, Schwartz. Lala goes, I feel like Ariana is here to reclaim her friends from Tom, and I'm here for it because I would much rather look at Ariana than Tom Sandoval. She's much prettier to look at. Schwartz is like, Katie, hi. Sandoval's like, I like your hair, Katie. And she's like, thank you. Thank you. And Katie turns away. And then Schwartz is like, oh, could you stand away from me, Sandoval? I don't want Ariana to see us this close to each other. He's like, I'm kidding. He's like, I know, dude. I know. And Sandoval's just like looking, like just staring at her, like a creepy ex that cheated on her for like 9 years. So Ariana is going around hugging at people, and seems like she's good. Seems like she's solid. Tom seems rattled though. Ariana's like, Katie dragged me out, and she's like, I cannot let my ex prevent me from hanging out with my friends for the rest of my life. I would totally let that happen. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll stay home. She's like, I'm not looking at him, but I can feel, I'm not looking at him, but I can feel those eyes buried into me. And we do see him looking at her, like continually looking, and is like, hands on his face, just like his nails are fluttering. Ariana's talking about the game night, and then Sandoval to Schwartz very dramatically, you're like, oh shit, what's he about to say? He's like, dude, I got a shit, dude. I got a shit. And Schwartz is like, there's like the best shitter bathroom in West Hollywood, dude. I haven't shit there, but I have peed in that bathroom because there's the main room and this is the side. It's also a room where a lot of people do like, nefarious drugs and things like that. It's a side bathroom. I mean, I've heard at the Belmont. And, but I just like that in the middle, like, this is how rattled Tom is. He's like, I've got a fucking shit, dude. It's like Dumb and Dumber all over again. That scene with Jeff Daniels where it's like, I mean, I want the cameras to follow Sandoval into this bathroom and watch him take a stress poop, Sorry. No dog noises this week, but I got the fart one. I just love that this is what I would imagine Short and Sandoval, like 80% of their conversations literally are about shit, like just like, oh, dude, I've got tummy issues today. So the girls go to hang out on a patio while, Sandoval blows that bathroom up. And Ollie's like, how are you guys since astrology night? And, Lala says, me and Katie, we have a safe word now. It is croissant. It is croissant. And Allie goes, so Joe texted me and she's like, so I really want you to do my chart. Can we get drinks this week? And Katie's like, what did you say? And Allie's like, I said, sure. And then actually Ariana is the one that says, oh, you in danger, girl. So Ariana must have just watched Ghost. I thought it was like Katie or Lala. So Ariana has like ghost fixation all of a sudden. She must have just watched this. You in danger, girl. And Allie is, but I thought, the way Joe talked about it is like, Allie reached out to me, but it turned out Joe reached out to Allie. It was like, heard you do charts, and Allie's like, well, she's kind of quirky. And Katie's like, that is such a generous statement. Quirky? And then at Talking Head, Katie's like, where do I start? I mean, Kristen Doute was her best friend, but then this girl just really infiltrates the rest of my life. The day I announced my divorce, she sends me a text saying, I respect you. And the text message she sent was, Bieber loves you, because Katie loves Justin Bieber. The text reads, Bieber loves you, I love you, and I'm so supporting of your inner thoughts and visions. Live in the moment. You're a gem, and I've always respected you. I love you, XO. Joe. I love you, and I'm so supportive of your inner thoughts and visions. Live in the moment. You're a gem. I've always respected you. I love you. XO Joe. Pull my finger. So this is the text she sends Katie before she moves in with Schwartz. I respect you. And then she goes, a few months later, she's living with Tom Schwartz. I mean, the girl just moves in really sketchy ways. She does. I'm sorry. I know she's all peace and love, but that is sketchy. So Katie's like, man, that's wild, but knock yourself out. Enjoy that birth chart. We're back in Belmont, and Sandoval to Kyle Chan goes, I had to take a shit, dude. Why is Sandoval so proud of telling people that he's like had to take a shit and took a shit? Like, why? Like, hey, dude, I finally took a shit. Like, is this the first shit Tom Sandoval's taken in months? Hey, Kyle, dude, I took a shit finally, dude, at the Belmont. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, all right. Anyways, Scheana's there with like a high noon, And she goes up to Schwartz, and Schwartz is like, "Oh, do you come here often?" And then Scheana goes, "I didn't come here years, actually." I love that it's an obvious joke. Do you come here often? She was like, "Actually, that's a great question. I don't actually." And then Scheana goes, "How are things with Sandoval, Schwartz?" He's like, "Tom had people over at his house the other day." And she's like, "I know. Ariana said it was like a sexy single pools party." And he's like, see, this is what I thought would happen. It's like a game of telephone. And then Sandoval walks up, so he stops talking. And Sandoval's like, "Hey, what's up, Scheana?" And he kind of stays there while they're talking. And Schwartz is like laughing. And he's like, Tom, I was explaining about the pool party. And Santa was like, "I literally thought it was like 3 or 4 people." And I was like, he was scared I was using them as the wingman. There was no shit going on, dude. It was like rated G. How is it rated G if some girl's like taking her top off in the pool and you're like, throwing down Burning Man questions and Billy Lee's like, "Have you talked to my friend over here?" Like, no. Anyways, Schwartz is like, "By the way, we had a nice little James Bond-esque thing the other night. And we got some meat." And she's like, "I heard that. But then I also heard from Brock, my husband. You were kind of feeling like Raquel abandoned you." And we flash back to 3 days earlier when he had shared that story with the guys about not hearing. He's like, "I'm sitting with my phone every fucking night, even though she's in a mental health facility and doesn't have access to her phone, dude. How rude is that? How rude." So Sheena's like, "Literally, Tom, can there be a part of you that can just take any of that out of it and just be like, you know what? Maybe I did hurt this person. Maybe I didn't even mean to, but I did manipulate this person. Let's talk about Katie. Swallow your ego, swallow your feelings, and be like, you know what, Katie? Actually, I did. I fucked up. I understand this business I opened with your ex-husband was probably a big part of the demise of your relationship. And I'm sorry for that. Can you do that?" And Sandoval is like, "Oh." Sheena's like, "I feel like Sandoval used to live on this moral high ground, and if you weren't up there with him, you were below him. And if he has a little bit more of self-awareness and understands that it's not just about the affair, maybe we can make one baby step forward." This is actually genius from Scheana. She nails it. Scheana tells him, "You have hurt a lot of people, and if you can just take your ego out of it." It's not an ego thing, dude. Tom, you're getting defensive right now. I'm being calm. I'm just tired of being the fucking scapegoat. It's not a scapegoat, Tom. It's having some self-awareness and taking some accountability. I am, dude. People basically want to like go through the past 10 years of my life. And Sheena's like, "Not 10 years. I'm talking about the last year. It's fucking ridiculous, dude." And she's like, "We're going in circles when I was just trying to help. I'm just trying to help." And she walks away. And he's like, "That's not helping, dude." And this is great for Sandoval saying like, "I need my friends back, especially Scheana." Scheana actually like drops some knowledge. Like this is like insane knowledge from Scheana out of nowhere. She nails so many things in that statement. And he's like, "Oh, fuck you, dude. You don't even know what you're talking about, dude." Like this is the time to even pretend. Like this man can't even pretend to hear clarity. That's the thing. Like, there's people like, "Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying," and then just throws all of it out. This guy in the moment is like, "Dude, no. Like, I thought you needed these people so badly, yet you keep like not being able to accept anything that they're saying about the situation that they're going through with you." And then literally Sandoval walks away and DJ James Kennedy's like, "Tom, Jesus Christ, dude, what are you doing, man?" He's like, "It's always my fault. Dude, the whole fucking life's crumbling, and you're letting this happen. I'm not groveling to these motherfuckers anymore, dude. We've all done fucked up shit. We've all made mistakes. I'm over this shit. Tom, out." And DJ James is like, "Oh, damn it, guys' night." So we see Sandoval walk like down the street. Can you imagine if you're just driving down La Cienega and see a Tom Sandoval all in white? That's like seeing like a Pokemon or something. I wonder how many points you get for that. But even DJ James is like, "Fuck Tom, Jesus Christ, you can't even do this for 1 second. My God, man, get a hold of yourself, please." It is wild. Like you can just tell he's so butthurt that Ariana was there, and then he's so butthurt that people still are like questioning. And then like he's like, "Oh, I'm done with groveling, dude." This dude has had to do minimal groveling. Like very, very little groveling. So I do not know what he gets sick of because we have not seen really very like anytime he starts to apologize, he'll immediately flip it on its thing of like, no, dude, he wants people to apologize to him. So now we're over to Brock and Scheana's place, and little Summer Moon is drawing. He's like, hey, draw me a little face on this thing, little Summer Moon. And Summer Moon draws like an angry face. She's like, this is what it felt like when Tom Sandoval blocked me on IG. Anyways, Brock's like, hey, what time was Gabby coming over today, honey, to watch Little Summer Moon? We're going to Ariana's tonight for game night. And Brock and talking is like, I've been trying to talk to Scheana about getting a nanny for the amount of time that Summer Moon's been born, which the producers say 824 days. She's not very good at change, though, Scheana. So Brock is trying to set up some sort of schedule. And Summer Moon is just having the time of her life with her pink cast drawing things. And he's like, it's important to have a kind of a schedule, a consistency in this house. And Scheana's like, I don't know how many times I have to explain to you that our schedule is not consistent, which is fine, but this week it hasn't worked for me. Listen, he says, lower the tone, Sandoval. What is it like now? Anytime a guy fucks up at all, Lindsay called Carl Sandoval in Summer House this week. Scheana just called Brock. Lower your tone, Sandoval. What are you talking about? Don't call me Sandoval. No, no. Just hearing the name Sandoval, I'm sure triggers Summer Moon. But what a brutal thing. He's like, listen. And then she's like, I don't talk to you when you have tone. It's when you say I can't have a schedule, it affects me because I can't have a schedule, huh? And she's like, I don't like you today. And Brooke's like, I love you. I do love you. I just don't like you. I don't like how we're communicating. And he's like, I'm hoping that Scheana will come around because I want to figure out what's next for me in my career, for the Brockster. You know, it's really difficult with her schedule. It's being around the house. She's all over the place. Getting a nanny is going to help us figure it out. They're really holding on to this nanny storyline. They're holding on hard. Anyways, Summer Moon's babysitter is there, Gabby. It's a potential nanny. And Summer Moon's like, read me this book. Let's do it. Have you talked to Tom Sandoval? Anyways, they're getting out of there. And Brock's like, well, little quick, how was the Belmont? And she was like, it was frustrating because I felt like I was trying to say to Tom, like, there are still people who care about you. Stop doubling down and blaming other people. That's not doing you any favors, which is like genius of Scheana. And she was like, I honestly don't even remember how it ended. I just walked away. And then I went to Ariana and Katie. Was like, why am I trying? Why am I trying? Which, by the way, once again, why do you go to Ariana? That's the thing, Scheana, is that you can't then go to Ariana and go like, what an asshole. Because it's like, it's too messy. If you want to try to be Sandoval's friend, try to be Sandoval's friend. But then don't go to Ariana when it doesn't work. That's not the audience for that. It's really simple. Leave her out of it entirely. Anyways, Brock's like, Ariana was there? Are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, she ended up coming. Katie convinced her. And we had a great conversation, by the way. I talked to her about how, things that had hurt me, how I found out about Dancing with the Stars on Instagram instead of her telling me. Okay, this confuses me. Scheana said how she found out about it on Instagram instead of her telling me. But when she talked to Lisa Vanderpump, she said she found out from Dan, Ariana's new boyfriend, when she went to pick up Dan from the airport. So I'm really confused. Did you find out from Instagram or did you find out from Dan? How did that story change? It was like just a tiny thing if you caught it. But she says, I found out on Instagram to Brock. Anyways, and she was like, I get that. I should have told you, Scheana, He's like, can I tell you my one concern about Ariana right now with all of this support that she has, She hasn't had the time to take a breath. And when that slows down, whew. And she's like, well, hopefully it doesn't. It's very Scheana. Well, hopefully she'll work the rest of her life. But I got to tell you, I agree with Brock on this. Because that's the thing. And but just think about this. If you are used to minimal amount of attention and then all of a sudden your world explodes, and not just relationship, but everything explodes. Everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants, everything that you do is golden, except for now people are turning against her. But that is like, once all of that goes away, I do worry about, because I've been through that. I think you guys have been through that, is that, eventually, I don't know how Ariana deals with all this stuff, but I think any of her friends would worry about that of like, when all of this dies down, it potentially is going to be hard for her because, all of this excitement, all of this. I mean, I think I can't speak for her at all, but I wonder if there's a part of her that is almost going to be excited when we're a year into this thing, when this does wear off a little bit and she can get back to more of a consistent life, because she's been working her ass off. I mean, that's the thing. Tom's out there trying to get sympathy and stuff. Like she's been job after job. Like she's actually working these jobs. But I thought this was very astute of Brock about when all of that attention dies down, she's going to have to potentially deal with some stuff. And I do wonder, because you will have to process this, like 9 years with somebody and being lied to in that way publicly, even if you got millions for it, it's still, you have to deal with that. I would imagine like the trust factor of that, being able to trust anybody would be sort of impossible for her. And then you have to be on a show where Scheana's like, can I be friends with Tom? Like that even then makes it weird to trust the people that are around you. That's why I think she does have a core group of friends that aren't on this reality show, which I think is excellent because those are the people you need, the people that, and even them, like it's hard. Like they do podcasts or interviews with the New York Times. That's hard, because you just want friends to be your friends for you, not because that they get to be in something or do something because of you. It must be really tricky. It really must be. Anyways, we're back to Ariana's for game night. Katie bought a bunch of little snackies, some bagel bites, fun stuff. By the way, Tom is upstairs in the home gym on the treadmill again with the weight, with hand weights on, and he looks like Christian Bale in American Psycho. He's like, yeah, dude, yeah. And we're talking to him like, dude, about last night. I don't think that I'm the reason why Schwartz and Katie got divorced, but I'm willing to apologize. I want to prioritize things that are important to Scheana because I would like to mend that friendship. Then Tom stares at himself in the mirror. Once again, just Christian Bale, American Psycho. He's like, yeah, dude, I'd fuck me, dude. Yeah. I'll go to Burning Man, dude. All right. Yeah. But also, I'm so tired of hearing myself scream about this. Like, he just doesn't get it. Like, yeah, dude, I'll apologize to Katie. I don't think what I'm apologizing for, I don't think I did at all. But yeah, if Scheana wants it, sure. Like poor Scheana. Like I know Scheana loves it in a way because she likes that kind of attention. But Tom picked Scheana out of all of them. Like, to be like, I'll do anything that Scheana said. I took a day to think about it. Yeah, I'll apologize to Katie. Sure. I don't think I had anything to do with it, but Scheana wants it. Like, holy shit. Like, Tom, it's like, my mom used to say, like, if that person jumped over the side of a mountain, would you follow? I mean, it's like if Scheana jumped over the side of a mountain, Tom, would you follow? Well, I gotta think about it. I'm trying to mend things with Scheana. I guess I gotta jump. It makes me sad. It's like, wait, because Scheana wants it, you're going to apologize, not because you thought about it and can see how Katie might perceive in certain ways how you didn't help the situation, because we all saw it. He didn't, everything Katie says comes true. You might not like her delivery, but it comes true. Anyways, Ariana, shows Anne's text message to Katie that he's coming down. The boss man's coming down to make a protein shake. Ariana's like, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to walk away. But Katie's going to stay there and put stuff away. So Tom now gets out of the workout room and he comes down. And Katie in a talking head says, it's amazing how Ariana just leaves the room and all of a sudden it just becomes cold and dark. Darth Sandoval coming down from the workout room. What's up, Katie? You. What's up, dude? It's Darth Sandoval, man. Do you feel the force? Come to the dark side, Katie. It's me and Scheana. It's cold and dark and it smells like somebody took a nasty shit. What's up, Katie? I just worked out. I took a huge dump on Darth Sandoval. And Katie's like, I can't really breathe. Sandra's like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. You guys having people over? You ever been the Burning Man? And she's like, yeah, just doing a game night, nothing crazy. And he's like, I obviously been doing some thinking and some reflecting on all this shit, And Katie, I really I want to apologize to you for the way I acted last year. Katie's like just checking text messages. She looks up. I know that you were going through a lot with the divorce. I probably didn't need any of that extra shit, Speaking of shits, I took one at the Belmont the other night. Katie goes, you're apologizing. That's great. But for me, like, apologies are just like words. At the end of the day, Tom, like, you fucked up big time. Oh, yeah, dude. And she goes, it's fathomless, really, to carry on an affair like that. He goes, fathomless? Like, wow, you can't even fathom that happening. Tom acts like this isn't a word or she's using the word incorrectly. Katie is 100% using the word like fathomless. Like you can't even like I can't fathom what I'm. Yes, Tom, that's it, man. She nailed it. Like you're like, oh, are you sure about that, Katie? What are you talking about, dummy? Oh my God, like you can't even fathom. But yeah, she used it correctly, Tom. But he seems blown away. And Katie's like, no, you know what I did? I walked away from a 12-year marriage when I still like loved the person just because I wanted to be happy. I didn't start fucking his friend behind the back. And then Sandoval's like, we're not the same people. And she's like, obviously. Also, Katie, if you had to fuck his best friend, that would be Sandoval. And Sandoval in that moment is like, wait a sec. Hey, Katie, do you want to, hey, let's get back at Joe. What's up? I'm Joe. Anyways, this is so wild, but I will say once again, I've said this many times. That's it. And Katie, I think a lot of people go through these kind of relationships where Katie does love Tom Schwartz. She just realized at a certain point he was never going to be the person that would make her happy. So she had to make probably one of the most difficult decisions of her life. And I think that takes a lot of balls. Katie does have a big old dick. Like, honestly, maybe that really is a hard thing to do, to actually come to that terms with that, but also know that you do love that person. Like she does love Tom Schwartz. And I think that's the thing that Tom Schwartz at the end of the day realizes. And that's the thing as you get older too, is you just realize, that it sucks. Sometimes you just aren't the right person for that other person. Even if you think you are, you think you might be. But like a lot of people don't make that tough decision and they stay in relationships that they shouldn't way past their expiration date. Ding, 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 Tom Sandoval. You know what I'm saying? And then they do crazy things. In a talking head, Katie says, I was in love with somebody that was never going to love me in the way that I wanted to and deserved to be loved when I know exactly what it's like, even more so when I felt it probably even deeper than this man will ever feel anything in his life. Katie, I think he feels pretty deeply about his karaoke band. Like, honestly, Katie, that's unfair. But he goes, honestly, I'm trying to look back on the situation and learn and reflect and grow. And Katie's like, well, stop explaining yourself and just start moving differently through the world. He's like, I'm doing the best I can. And she's like, well, like having parties here? Katie, do you know what people are doing to me? They're like, really, Tom? A blue shirt today? You know how bad that looks? And Katie's like, you don't think there's any, with any issues with having strangers in this house? You're cohabitating, sharing a space, and it's giving audacity is what it's giving. Give me a little bit of grace. And Katie's like, no. Like Tom Sandoval, he's down bad when he uses a housewife slang of like, give me some grace, dude. And also I love that Tom's like, you know how tough people are being with me? Like, they're like making fun of what I dress like. Like that's potentially like what, what I'm dealing with? They're like talking shit about my fashion, Katie, my fashion. In a talking head, he goes, I am here trying to take some accountability. And I did also apologize and was remorseful on the reunion. And we cut back to Sandoval crying. He's like, I would just like to thank everybody for being here. And DJ James Kennedy's like, pull yourself together, man. You're not a victim. You're not at the Oscars. Come on. No. And Ariana like, that sad sack act is fucking bullshit. And anyway, Sandoval's like, it's still not good enough for Katie Maloney. Anyway, Sandoval to Katie in this scene goes, I'll try to do better and stay out of the way. Katie's like, you just give her a little more decency and respect. And Sandoval's like, at some point we need to have a conversation. And Katie's like, she wants to sell the house. Balled in her court, dude, he says. See you around. Have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go take another shit, dude. You look good. And then he says, you look good to Katie. You look good, dude. You're working on your summer body. I love that, dude. And Katie puts one of these eyes wide, like I shit you not, eyes wide shut masks over her face that was just like lying there probably from one of Tom's weird parties, and puts it, which is like the darkest, like Fidelio. Go see Eyes Wide Shut, folks. That was like a really dark scene. And the thing is, and Katie must have cracked up when she saw this cut and like had Tom going like, well, I guess I'll apologize even though I don't mean it because Scheana wants it. But that's the thing, Tom. It's like, just because you're like, I counted the apology I said at the reunion, it's like, you don't mean half the apologies you say. So that's why they never truly land. That's the whole bit. Like, and how do we all get that and he doesn't still? And that's the part that just makes me so fucking sad for him. Because like, if you really felt it was real, I truly believe this would all. I mean, I'm starting to feel bad for him because he just doesn't get it. It's just the insincerity. Everybody just sees. I just hope he can connect with at some point what he actually did and sit in it a little bit. And he just doesn't want to sit in it and he's fighting it. And so hopefully he gets past that. And, I'm sure he has good people around him. Anyways, we cut to a scene and Tom is journaling. What's up, dude? It's me, Tom, your buddy, the person that bought you, Journal. Have you ever been to Burning Man? JK. Anyways, my buddy Tom Schwartz is coming over. Just had a conversation with Katie. She's a see you next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying, Journal? Anyways, have a bitchin' summer. JK, I'm going to keep writing all my thoughts and all my poetry. Roses are red, violets are blue. Rachel won't call from a mental health facility. That's like a big F you. What about closure? Come on, dude. Schwartz walks in. He's like, what's up, buddy? Where are you, man? Tom? I'm journaling, dude. Come on in over here. And he's like, what's up, Dan? What's up? You journaling? Yeah, dude. He's like, are you habituated? Yeah, I mean, dude, I've journaled every day. Like, look at this, dude. April, and he opens his journals. And Schwartz is like, oh, shit, dude. I love that they're like, oh, my God, like, that's handwriting. Like, I mean, I'm kind of impressed, too. I don't handwrite anything anymore. And he like flip it. By the way, I swear to God, he's going to sell. I need the Tom Sandoval journal. I would buy a copy of the Tom Sandoval journal. I mean, if it went to charity or something, but I need to read this thing. I mean, this is better than 50 Shades of Grey in my book. I want this. And also I want Rachel's journal. Like, I want competing journals, and maybe they can come together and just release them at the same time. Cause wouldn't you love like a back and forth journal? Cause Rachel, he said, is journaling too. And so it was like, Rachel didn't pick up again today. And then, Rachel's journal is like, I've been in 12 hours of intensive therapy. I just want to sleep. And Tom Sandoval's like, she's so heartless, dude. I'm out here rocking and rolling in a pool and she won't call me back. So anyways, he's showing, by the way, it looks like the writing's double spaced, so don't get too impressed. Schwartz is like, holy shit, man. And it's talking to like Rachel cutting off from me, that pain. It comes in waves, dude. Me journaling and not drinking with like, me trying to connect with her in a way, kind of like I used to like my penis connecting with her private parts. I don't know. It's something I've been working on in my journal. And he's like, because I knew she was journaling, so it was a connection. And she wasn't able to drink. By the way, Tom, like, you should have really impressed her and just gone to therapy yourself. Like, honestly, like, screw the journaling and not drinking. Just check yourself into therapy like she did. That's a good way to connect with her as well and focus on your patterns. And then he has like a Ziploc bag and it's pictures of him and Raquel. And he's like, dude, I took these pictures with me on Special Forces of me and Rachel. And these are the pictures that Nick Viall, when on Special Forces, said on his podcast that he showed the cast. So he carried these pictures of Rachel in this Ziploc bag. And Schwartz is like, Jesus, dude. Oh my God. And it's so sad. He's like, dude, look how happy we were, dude. Like, this is like, he's like, dude, look how happy we are. This is so dark, you guys, because these pictures he's referring to was literally when he was still with Ariana. This was pre all of this like Sandoval breaking. And he's like, look how happy we were. Dude, that should show you that's all false. Like, dude, you were in another, like a 9-year, like, why do I keep talking about he's fucking here? Like, man, how can you not see even that is like deranged? If there's psychosis there. Like, sure, like, oh, we were so happy that no, you weren't. It was false. And even Rachel was scared for her mind. Like, we are literally, like, Tom wants to make us all feel bad for him. And it's just so sad because he's the last person we feel bad for. I have more empathy for this point for Rachel than I do for Tom. And he's the one, and it really must really fucked him up that Rachel is doing what he's doing because he's like, she's locked away, she can't tell her story. So I'm really trying to emo this out. And if he was really trying to emo this out, there would be no pool parties. There would be no talking to girls, getting back on the horse. It's only been a month since she's been gone. Like, I haven't heard from her. Maybe you should wait to hear from her and maybe not just from Lisa Vanderpump, or maybe just take this time for yourself. But anyway, Schwartz is like, I'm uncomfy here. He's like, I've lost pretty much all of my friends. And now losing Rachel, it's a lot for me emotionally, dude. And Schwartz is like, you feeling a little sullen today, dude? Yeah, dude. Yeah. And he's like, there's part of me that thought when she gets out, maybe we can both in a healthy place to see each other again and connect, and she can move in here. But I'm figuring out that it'll never happen. And it really fucking breaks my heart. She's fucking selfish. And then he goes in his closet and just goes into the shirts and he's like, oh, Stella. Rachel. And Schwartz is just sitting on a chair. He's like, by the way, and this is performative to a degree because he could also shut the closet door. Like, he's in the closet door. Like, if you want to have a good cry, let him hear it on the mic, dude. He's like, no, it's a visual medium, dude. They need to see it. Like, Schwartz is just like looking. He's like, hey, and he's like, sorry, dude. Oh, sorry. Shut the door, man. If you like, I know he thinks he's feeling this, but it's just performative. It's like, this is why he needs to take a little break from reality TV, because he's literally thinking about how this is being filmed. He's like, okay, there's going to be a 2-shot on me like this, and I'm going to be in pain. So it'd be great if you had an angle like this, where it just gets the back of my rock star hair, and I'm just crying into my Hurley shirt. You know what I'm saying? And Schwartz, he just tells looking, it's like, what the fuck? I just look at those pictures and I'm like, that'll never happen again, dude. And Schwartz is like, don't ever say never. I just find it's like, dude, those pictures were literally taken when you were in the relationship. That'll never happen again, dude. Because I'll never get up to another 9-year relationship where I can cheat on that person. It's just going to take too much time, dude. It's too much time. And I love Schwartz like, don't believe in yourself, dude. You'll be able to cheat again on somebody. Believe in yourself, brother. And I just love the people out there that are like, they're going like, wow, this is a really emotional, beautiful scene. Anyway, Schwartz is like, I feel this in my heart and soul. I'm telling you, dude, you are at the tail end of this. Dude, no. That's not even remotely accurate, dude. I'm treated like fucking Scott Peterson, and it will fucking linger with me like fucking Scott Peterson. And Schwartz is like, you're not Scott Peterson. Didn't he murder his wife? And then Sandoval goes, allegedly. I said earlier, who the fuck is feeding information to Tom Sandoval about people that pretty much 95% sure like murdered his wife, just like OJ murdered Ron and Nicole? Like, where is he? Like, I mean, those dudes were victims too, dude. I would love if the second half of the season is just Tom trying to prove Scott Peterson's innocence. He's like, dude, Schwartz, I found a project. It's the Innocence Project. We're going to go into DNA testing, and we're going to get this guy free, dude. You know, like if I can get Scott Peterson free, maybe that can heal what's going on with me inside. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't know if this is a good idea, dude. I'd rather hang out with Joe. I think Scott's guilty. Why do you say that, dude? I mean, do you see how I'm being crucified? And I never even did anything. Well, actually, you did cheat. Oh, I forgot about that. But you know what I'm saying, dude. Scott Peterson, it's alleged, dude. Alleged. Can you even fathom? Like Katie Maloney said, it's fathomless, you know? And then Schwartz is like, I've never seen you down bad like this, brother. I want to see an Unsolved Mysteries with I'm Tom Sandoval, and this is the new season of Unsolved Mysteries. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, Schwartz is like, I'm trying to think of somebody with expertise in this area that can help Tom, somebody that can show Tom that there's got to be better days ahead. Sounds like you need some good friends right now. You need a little love, dude. Dude, how about we go out tomorrow? You got to break the Raquel spell. And then we cut to Tom Sandoval in the mirror putting on makeup, his guy liner, and he's like, "No, it's okay, dude. No, I'll snap out of it." And George's like, "No, you can go emo, dude. You can. I know you're going through an emo phase right now. It's time to heal." And Tom looks at his freshly make-upped face in the mirror, and he's like, "Maybe he's right. Yeah, maybe he's right." It is so funny because also Schwartz is hinting at Jax being the person that can help him realize that better days are ahead. And it's like, can he? Literally, Jax and Brittany want us to believe that they're separated right now. What better days? These are not the best days of our lives, folks. Anyways, the game night is there. Sandoval pops down while all the game night people are there, and Lala's like, "I knew he was here. I felt a bad energy." Lala, you should be Team Sandoval. What are you hopping on the bad energy thing for? This is like, Ariana needs to be cool with all this. Anyways, Sandoval and Schwartz comes down. Schwartz like waves at everybody, and he's like, "What's up, everybody? We're gonna get out of here. Have a good night." And Sandoval waves. Everybody waves back. And Lala's like, "Schwartzy's been upstairs the whole time? You're right. The energy isn't that bad with him here." So Lala's like, "Maybe it isn't so bad to live here." And so now it's game night. The big part of this scene is that they end up playing Never Have I Ever. And the Never Have I Ever had an orgy. First off, Brock almost admits, he's like, "I've been in an orgy with 2 guys and a girl." Later on the after show, he says, "I misunderstood. I didn't know what they're asking." But like, I use Brock and another leprechaun. Oh God. Anyways, but Scheana was like, "Never have I ever been in an orgy." And then in a talking head, she was like, "I can't tell you who it is, but that person thought my body was a wonderland. I've been driving 85 and I'm gonna bang Scheana, Shay, and drive John motherfucking Mayer." Scheana had an orgy with John Mayer. I now know a couple people that have had threesomes and orgies with John Mayer. Good looking out, man. Scheana said this was in 2008, John Mayer. And I wonder if Andy's like, "Scheana, what's John packing under there? Hey, I just think that's so funny. You can tell in the talking head, Scheana is so proud of it too. Like, she is so proud of it. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people would be proud to sleep with John Mayer. Am I wrong in that? I think they would. We are so nearing the last scene, folks. But anyways, Schwartz is in bed with the 2 dogs. It looks like it's probably 3 p.m. And we get a text message that pops up from Jax motherfucking Taylor, dude. Jax, I love the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling Taylor. And Jax has a text message that says, "Got your message. Got to check with Brittany, but it should be okay." And Schwartz is like, "Yes!" Exclamation point. "See you there." Jax's real text is like, "I don't even need to ask Brittany. Women don't even fucking make the decisions in this household. Jax Taylor does." So now this final scene, it cuts between the guys at Tom Tom and Allie and Joseph, the turtle killer. Ow! They're at this Mr. Furley's bar in the valley, and we hear Allie going, "Sagittarius rising." Okay, which makes so much fucking sense. I will never know anything about any of astrology. I wish I knew. It just, my brain is broken when it comes to it. So Allie's like, "So is James. Energy all over the place." And Joe, it looks like she's like sitting there trying to sit still. She's like, "I can't move. I can't move. Oh my God, I want to move, but I can't move. I'm trying to be cool around Allie." And Allie's like, "Yeah, we just can't stop. We can't stop." And Allie's like, "Okay, see where your son is living? Oh yeah, in your 8th house, of course." And then Joe goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yee." And then she finally moves. She's like, "Ay." I'm like, "Yee, yeah." Zoinks. Yee. I love Joe. Anyways, Allie's like, you're like the house is like the haunted house where like psychic and mediums. And Joe's like, okay. I always think it's beautiful. It's kind of like you're a light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people. And Joe gives this look of like, thank you. I get that a lot. I guess I am kind of a light. Oh my God. Thank you. That is amazing. Like she bows her head like, thank you. Thank you very much. But Allie's like, because I think that also, anyways, we cut over to the guys and it's Sandoval, DJ James Kennedy, Brock, and Schwartz. And Brock is like, what's your relationship with that weirdo Joe? Come on, what's going on? And Schwartz is like, no, we're just friends. Does she know that, dude? And Schwartz is like, no, like last summer, it was like kind of a whirlwind romance. Like it was amazing, but. And DJ James Kennedy's like, she's your secret girlfriend, isn't she? No, dude, she's not. Yes, I do have sex with her, but no, not a secret girlfriend. And it's like, dude, please give me a little credit, man. I would never claim her. It's like really weird. But also, I love that Schwartz, like a year later, is like, okay, we had like a whirlwind romance. But remember the time of the reunion of like, no, we're not doing anything. Joe's like a special friend. What are you talking about, dude? And he once again, it's like, I don't want to date anybody. I love hanging out with Joe. Anyways, back to Joe. And Allie's like, okay, it's funny because Schwartz is a Libra and he's activating your house in friendship and community. This almost like proves to me like there's this definitely a friendship bond. And Joe's like, and she makes a, she does. I'm not even joking. If you're watching this on YouTube, she's like, take it back, Allie. Take it back. Please, Allie, take it back. Allie goes, well, friends date too. Actually, I see a lot of people who date who's like their spouse activates their friendship chart. Because it's like your spouse could be your best friend. And then just like, okay, let's go with that one. Yeah. I love that Allie clocked it. It was like, no, friends, that's a good thing. Like Allie's thinking on her feet. No, that's a good, like, I just wonder how many cards Allie reads that the person's fucked. She's like, no, it's a great thing. Yes, death is imminent, but like, that's so cool because the afterlife. Am I right? Anyways, I feel bad for Joe. Go back to the guy scene. And Schwartz is like, the girls, like, for some reason, and particularly Katie, doesn't like Joe. Like, yeah, big shocker. Wait, why do you think that is? And he's like, Joe's a sweet person. A beautiful human being. And then Sandoval goes, Joe and Rachel are like the only two girls that you've hooked up with, and Katie's got a problem with them. Like Sandoval, all of a sudden really taking things in like he said he was going to do in the last scene. And he's like, fuck Katie, dude. Also, I know for a fact that Schwartz hooked up with more people than Katie, than just Joe and Rachel. Like, come on. And if you're white, come on. Like, right? So I thought that was hysterical. And yeah, Katie, anyways, back to the astrology reading. Allie's like, I'm so happy I came tonight. I just want you to know, like, yes, I am friends with Ariana. Yes, I'm friends with Katie, but at the same time, I want you to feel like welcomed in this group because at the end of the day, you're Schwartz's friend. And Joe's like, it's really hard because when you're called an anorexic crackhead whore, and we cut to Katie's Instagram caption from last year. Joe is spooky. I mean, none of us could stand to be around her. Her energy is on par with a crackhead. She is a psycho, and I will also light her on fire with Rachel. And yes, I think that's cleverly worded, but yeah, it's mean, but also I see what Katie's talking about. I don't think I would ever use the word crackhead, but there's some weird energy. And like the way she got the Schwartz friendship or romantic entanglement or whatever it is really messy, Joe. It really is. Come on. It is. But anyways, Joe's mom was like, reached out to Joe and was like, do you do crack after reading this? But also tell your mom to get off Instagram. Like, why is she following Katie to begin with? Anyways, Joe's like, I have not said one bad thing about any of them. No, you just moved in like immediately with Schwartz. You didn't have to say any bad things. Actions sometimes speak louder than words, right? Am I right? So Joe's like, the Ballad of Joe, pull my finger, I'm so sad. We're back to the guys. And Schwartz is like, I want to be single for a long time. Now I'm clinging to the glory days. Like, it's like I think back to those days in West Hollywood, and now we're getting older and older. And like, Brooke's like, I have no idea what that would look like. I can only imagine. And Schwartz is like, I mean, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. And we flash back to all of these old VPR legend scenes, them wiping their butts on each other's faces, spooning in bed with all the guys. And Schwartz is like, it was always a little tumultuous with us. And all of a sudden, we see a dark figure walk through Tom Tom. And we know it's Jax, but they're shooting him from the back. And this girl's like, oh my God, it's Jax Taylor. You see this girl going, holy shit. Oh, it's Jax. Oh my God. And Jax is like walking through. Intense music is playing. The guys are in there. They haven't seen him yet. Everybody's kind of smiling, bopping. Jax is just walking with purpose. He's like, this is for the paycheck. And he's like, well, well, well. And they're like, oh my God, it's Jax. And Sandoval's like, oh shit, dude. He's like, yeah, it's me, dude. Jax Taylor, man. Well, well, well. Oh, okay, yeah. How you doing, dude? How you doing, Brock? You get the room to yourself? You're that big of a deal now here? Schwartz is like, I know Tom and Jax haven't really communicated in a long time. They're not really friends anymore, but I also know that deep down they love each other. And we're trying to launch another show called The Valley right after this. Well, anyways, maybe Jax can, give some advice. By the way, he's just in the sentence right there in the show, from a person who, has dabbled in infidelity to another. I like that Jax has dabbled in infidelity. I think Jax potentially made it his full-time job at a certain point. Anyway, Schwartz is like, what do you want? A vodka? He's like, yeah, give me a vodka. What's going on, man? And DJ James Kennedy's like, you've been working out, man? Yeah, dude, I appreciate it. I'm living a good life. The kid's growing like a weed. It's fun being a dad. We see snapshots of that. Yeah, doing that. Open up a bar. Jax's. Oh, really? Studio City. Gonna open a sports bar. And Sandoval is like, nice, man. Congratulations. And DJ James City's like, it's called Jax's. Nice. And then Brock's like, well, if you need any advice opening up a bar, I know some boys who can help you. Schwartz and Sandoval. And Jackson's like, no offense, but you guys are the last person I'd be taking restaurant advice from. And Sandoval's like, what? And then in a talking head, Sandoval's like, Jax has always been in some competition with me, which I never understood. And we have flashbacks of all the Sandoval Jax fights. Sandoval like, you can be happy for me, dude. Tom's huge. It's just unfortunate because we were best friends. Flashback to 2012. Flashback to the samurai sword signed by Randy Jackson that Tom gave Jax in 2019. But I think as time went on, I realized that nothing brings Jax more joy than celebrating other people's, failures and misery. And I think that's great because even Tom Sandoval gets clarity in these moments. Tom Sandoval doesn't have clarity on his own life, but he totally knows fucking Jax Taylor. He's like, this dude wants my misery. And I totally believe that to be true. I think they both want misery for each other. That's why it's hysterical that they're now forced to be in a scene. It is hysterical that Jax Taylor has to come back. The person that said he left Vanderpump Rules that he wasn't fired now has to admit that he was fired. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. And that's why I will be watching The Valley. The biggest mess wins. Anyways, Jackson's like, okay, so anyways, how about you, man? What have you been up to? You look a lot better because I'm not going to lie. I saw a picture of you on social media and you fucking a couple weeks ago. Holy shit, this guy looks like fucking 50 years old. That was probably the worst slam. You can tell Sandoval was like, oh shit, dude. Like you can say a lot of things about Sandoval's soul, but if you say this man looks 50 years old, he's like, oh. That was like the huge burn. Jax was like, I looked at you the other day. You're like, holy shit, you look 50, dude. Schwartz's head is in his hands like, oh no. And then Jackson's like, hey, but it seems like you look a lot better right now, minus the white nail polish. We got to get rid of that. And he goes, it's ombre, dude. It's ombre. Like Sandoval doesn't take issue with the don't wear it. He's like, not the right color, dude. It's ombre. And then Jax goes, I mean, I can't lie. Well, you've done that so much, Jax. I mean, I've obviously heard, dude, what's going on and everything. And I know you can't shut up about it, Jax. And we flashed to Jax's podcast going, it's so bizarre. The lack of empathy, the tone deafness, the selfishness. Like, are you mad? I do that in Sandoval's voice, even though it's Jax's, because they are now one and the same. They are literally that Spider-Man image of two Spider-Mans pointing at each other. Like the selfishness, the lack of empathy. Jax is the king of that. So this is high comedy. This is Monty Python right now. We are seeing SNL, like this would be a great SNL sketch. Like, where's the empathy? Jax Taylor telling you this? It's hysterical. It's the blind leading the blind. This is like a cage match of hypocrites. It's amazing. And Jax is like, you're damn right I'm going to talk about it. I can't not talk about it. The whole world's talking about it. I know what you did was wrong, but I've done things. Raise your hand if everybody's done, and they all raise their hand if they've done something wrong. The only problem I have with the whole situation, Tom, is the way you handled it. Sometimes it's okay to tuck your tail between your legs and say, I fucking did it. And Sandoval's like, it must be humbling experience to have only interesting things to say about me. And Jack's like, you don't think you need to humble yourself? Jax, I've humbled myself to so many people. I have, Jax. Look at you, dude. You don't deserve it, homie. I don't need to give you fucking answers. And Jack's like, you don't need to give me anything. You've been relentlessly shit-talking me. The whole world has been shit-talking you, Sandoval. The whole world. And Schwartz is like, God, this is so bad. This is so bad. Guess what? When the whole entire world was talking shit about you, when you were going through it, did I fucking dogpile on you? Yeah, you did, Tom. No, I didn't. No, I fucking didn't. You're not a friend, dude. You're me. Jackson's like, you're me 7 years ago. I'm not, dude. You are, dude. And you are worse. At least when I did it, I owned my shit. My life is the best it's ever been. I've grown up. I worked my ass off to get where I am right now. And Sandoval's like, so have I. And I have a great wife. She got huge boobs. And I've got a job. I got a kid. I've got everything. You're literally a fucking disgrace, Sandoval. So that is the end. I will do the connector scene to the Valley on Friday's episode. But that is the big showdown. And I've got everything, dude. Got a hot wife, a bitchin' kid, a bar. And by the way, half of these things that he got, like the podcast on the bar, it's all because of the Sandoval. So it's like so tied in with this. Like literally, at this point, Jack should be kissing the Sandoval ring. And I hate to give, but I think it's hysterical. And I will say, it wasn't everything I had hoped for, but it was a lot. I mean, it is fun to get that Jax bullshit energy in there. Jax, if you're listening, what up? I love that. I love Jax acting like, I've been through this, dude. And I handled it way better. I love that he's like, he acted like, he handled it perfectly. It's hysterical. Oh, anyways, folks. This is the end of this episode. Oh God, it always goes way too long. And it's like 2 hours. Took me 4 hours. Like at the first 20 minutes, I was having such a good time. And then I had to deal with some family stuff that I didn't plan on that lasted like an hour. So when I came back, I have been like, this hasn't been my best. Like I always say this at the end of these Vanderpump ones. I'm like, I don't know how this goes, but I was dealing, I don't know, my head's in another place. So, but I hope you guys got some laughs out of this. I really do. I hope there were some funny parts in this. I hope this wasn't just a train wreck But anywho, I'll meet you on Friday for the Valley. We'll also do a Bravo pop culture roundup with a lot of stories like Karen Huger, Larsa and Marcus Jordan splitting. There's a lot of stuff happening that we'll talk about on Friday as well. So please come back. I think I'll split this into two, so they'll be in like hour-long chunks instead of one big one. But anyways, I hope you guys have the best Thursday ever. You are so close to the end of the week. I believe in you. Jax Taylor's like, you fucked up the week, not me, dude. I think you did the week great. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.